Morning, everyone. This is Sean Butner with Start Your Day with a High Performance Coach, where we help you learn a little bit about high performance, get into your day so you can make the most of it. Now, this week we've talked a little bit about what is high performance. We talked about what people usually get tripped up on going ahead. And today I just wanted to do a quick video on, yesterday we also did a quick breathing exercise, now that I remember. And today I just want to talk to you about three words that have really helped me focus my business, which are joy, growth, and impact. So if you're joining me, say hi below. I see Dave's here. What's up, man? Best friend on the interwebs. Right there, guys. Um, and so as we all have this one question, which is what's next? And that's the question of growth. It's the question of change. It's the question of building a better future, which is very relevant for right now. So um, this is such an important three words for me, and why I focus on it is if you go through life and you don't get to experience the joy of being alive, at this time with crazy technology, crazy awesome things going on in the world, lots of struggle too. Like, I'm not saying there's not a lot of struggle, there's not a lot that needs to change, but to be in this moment of time, it seems very historic for the coronavirus, for Black Lives Matter, the protests, the changing of a lot of things in our society in the U.S. It shows democracy does work. I think is a really cool time to be experiencing, and it's like I said too. Like, there's a lot of struggle. There's a lot of work that needs to get done. There's a lot of sweat and tears, I'm sure, that will need to happen in order to make the changes that we all really need. But as we're going along, I just can't feel anything but lucky to be alive, to see this, to participate in it in my little way, and to cheer people on. So as we go forward, and you think about people in your life, like, how can you help them, feel more joyful in the moment, even when things are hard. And this is a lesson that I really learned from my mother, when I was in kindergarten. So I think it was like 5. She was diagnosed with cancer, and she had breast cancer. Ended up being okay, but I remember my folks made the really hard choice to sit down, me and my brother, when we were young, and say, "Hey, like, your mom has something that's kind of serious, and we're not sure what's going to happen," which is terrifying, honest. And then it was, so we're going to need you guys to help around the house. So at 5, I was doing dishes, I was doing laundry, taking out trash, things of that nature. And what I learned through that, though, is like, that was a very scary time. But my mom was always, had the phrase, like, one time, we would goof something up, me and my brother, like cleaning the house, and she's like, "We'll look back and laugh at this." Like, that was her phrase. Like, "We'll look back and laugh at this. This is not something that's so overwhelming or so defining, that we'll look back and we can find the humor in it, we can find the positivity in it, and we'll get through it." Like, that was her message. So that's why finding that joy in your life is important to me as your coach. But it's something that's also guided a lot of my life. Is how can I make this fun? How can I make this funny? Especially if it's an intense, horrible situation, just as a coping mechanism. Because sometimes we take things so seriously, but there's a lot of things, if you really look at it objectively, that are kind of hilarious. So there's that. Growth. This idea of progress. Progress is, into becoming the best person you possibly can be for your family, for your community, for your society, for yourself. There's a lot of self-respect there. Or for your profession, you want to be the best engineer, you want to be the best astronaut, you want to be the best business owner, whatever it is that you do and you're passionate about, wanting to be the best at it, wanting to feel challenged with it, right? A lot of times in my experience as a coach, when you have people that feel listless, that feel, kind of like they just go through the motions, they've lost that continuing learning. And so they don't know what to do to kind of get that feeling like, you're making forward progress. Because it's the same. Personal development, I think, is the same in change in society. Is we have fits of progress, we have fits of struggle, and you can't have one without the other, and it's never just comfortable. I think that's something that we need to be talking a bit more about. Is like change is uncomfortable, and as we make changes to our society to make it more equitable, however that looks, as the conversation continues. Again, I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I encourage people to continue that conversation on what are the meaningful things that will help change. But as we figure that out, we're going to struggle, then we're going to figure it out, and we'll make some rapid progress, and then we'll hit the next wall. And that's kind of how civilizations played out throughout the time, throughout times. So I'm optimistic that we'll get through this and we'll be stronger for it, and we'll make some very needed changes that will, make for a better place to live. So, but yeah, growth is super important. So my question for you is, how are you feeling that you're progressing in your career, in your health, in your relationships, or just general well-being? Because if you feel stuck in one of those, it can drag on the other ones. And like nobody has all like those four general areas always activated, but to be asking yourself like, how could I feel more progress in my mission? How can I feel more progress in developing that relationship with that close person? So that's the second word that's important and part of my brand, joy, growth, and impact. So we'll get to the third one. When you have, this happy heart, I guess is a way to put it. When you have this sense of progress, that's when you can ultimately make an impact on the world. And that could just be for some very few people in your life, like maybe your kids, maybe some family members, maybe some people in your community. It could be like completely changing the world, electric car, or the assembly line, some of those great inventions that we've had. It's all come after people have had that personal growth and have had that sense of joy in what they're doing. And so, what do you want your impact to be? That's the question that I'm always asking myself. And this is why this word is really important to me in this brand is, if we do everything just for ourselves, you don't feel connected to people. And when you don't feel connected to people, that's when I feel you feel a little bit more depressed. You feel isolated. You don't feel like you're part of this great nation or your community, or, you feel like you're not part of the family, or, all those types of things. So what are you contributing? That's another way to put this. Like, what do you contribute? And if it's just like I said, like there's your spouse that you're contributing to, or particular like your parents, or that's sometimes good enough. But as your coach, it's how do you have a greater impact? How do you change things for the better in a greater way? With more service in your heart, with more care. So that's kind of how I think through this. The branding for my business, or three words that are really important to me in personal growth in general are: do you have joy? Do you have growth? Do you have impact? So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, put it down below. This week I running out of slots for the free strategy session that will be taken down here in a little bit. So if you've been thinking about, hey, how do I get ahead even quicker? How do I feel more confident, more fully engaged, more joyful in my life and what I'm doing? and you want to go through the high performance process, I have a free 1-hour strategy session that you can find out at seanbutner.com/coaching, or you can just go to sean.coach, SHAWN.coach. Either way, if you go there, you can take a questionnaire that'll help me kind of figure out where you're at in your life. And so many people get so much value out of that in itself. But that will then qualify you for the free 1-hour strategy session. And so that's just going through this high performance process. We have a really good conversation for an hour. And then if we both feel like, yeah, we could do work together, then we have that conversation. If you don't think it's for you, or I don't think it's going to be a right fit, then cool. We had a really awesome conversation tailored to your life, having you, figure out what your next steps are, and then we're good. So again, check out seanbutner.com/coaching or sean.coach, which is easier to remember, but they both go to the same place. So check that out, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow on the Friday recap. Okay, take care, guys.